The terms international waters or transboundary waters apply where any of the following types of bodies of water transcend international boundaries: oceans, large marine ecosystems, enclosed or semi-enclosed regional seas and estuaries, rivers, lakes, groundwater systems, and wetlands. International waters have no sovereignty, ergo is terra nullius, as no state controls it. All states have the freedom of fishing, navigation, overflight, laying cables and pipelines, and research. Oceans, seas, and waters outside of national jurisdiction are also referred to as the high seas, or in Latin, mare liberum. The Convention on the High Seas, which has 63 signatories, defines high seas to mean all parts of the sea that are not included in the territorial sea or in the internal waters of a state. Ships sailing the high seas are generally under the jurisdiction of the flag state. However, when a ship is involved in certain criminal acts, such as piracy, any nation can exercise jurisdiction under the doctrine of universal jurisdiction. International waters can be contrasted with internal waters, territorial waters, and exclusive economic zones. International waterways. Several international treaties have established freedom of navigation on semi-enclosed seas. The Copenhagen Convention of 1857 opened access to the Baltic by abolishing the sound dues and making the Danish Straits an international waterway, free to all commercial and military shipping. Several conventions have opened the Bosphorus and Dardanelles to shipping. The latest, the Montreux Convention regarding the regime of the Turkish Straits, maintains the strait status as an international waterway. Other international treaties have opened up rivers, which are not traditionally international waterways. The Danube River is an international waterway so that landlocked Austria, Hungary, Moldova, Serbia, and Slovakia can have secure access to the Black Sea. Disputes over international waters. Current unresolved disputes over whether particular waters are international waters include the Arctic Ocean, while Canada, Denmark, Russia and Norway all regard parts of the Arctic seas as national waters or internal waters. Most European Union countries and the United States officially regard the whole region as international waters. Legally by the UN Convention on Law of the Sea, Canada has the right to claim the Northwest Passages as internal waters, a convention supported and agreed upon by both the US and EU. The Southern Ocean. Australia claims an exclusive economic zone around its Antarctic territorial claim. Since this claim is only recognized by 4 other countries, the EEZ claim is also disputed. Area around Okinotoshima. Japan claim Okinotoshima is an islet and thus they should have an EEZ around it, but some neighboring countries claim it is an atoll and thus should not have an EEZ. South China Sea. See territorial disputes in the South China Sea. Some countries consider the South China Sea as international waters, but this viewpoint is not universal. In addition to formal disputes, the government of Somalia exercises little control de facto over Somali territorial waters. Consequently, much piracy, illegal dumping of waste and fishing without permit has occurred. Although water is often seen as a source of conflict, recent research suggests that water management can be a source for cooperation between countries. Such cooperation will benefit participating countries by being the catalyst for larger socio-economic development. For instance, the countries of the Senegal River Basin that cooperate through the organization pour la mise en valeur du fleuve Senegal have achieved greater socio-economic development and overcome challenges relating to agriculture and other issues. International Waters Agreements. Global Agreements. International Freshwater Treaties Database. The Yearbook of International Cooperation on Environment and Development profiles agreements regarding the marine environment. Marine Living Resources and Freshwater Resources. 1972 London Convention on the Prevention of Marine Pollution by Dumping of Wastes and Other Matter. 1973 London International Convention for the Prevention of Pollution from Ships. 1973 MARPOL. 1982 United Nations Convention on Law of the Sea. 1997 United Nations Convention on the Law of Non-Navigational Uses of International Watercourses, not ratified. Transboundary Groundwater Treaty, Bellagio Draft, proposed but not signed. Other global conventions and treaties with implications for international waters. 1971 Ramsar Convention on Wetlands. 1992 Convention on Biological Diversity. Regional agreements. At least 10 conventions are included within the Regional Seas Program of UNEP, including the Atlantic coast of West and Central Africa, the Northeast Pacific, the Mediterranean, the wider Caribbean, the Southeast Pacific, the South Pacific, the East African seaboard, the Kuwait region, the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. Addressing regional freshwater issues is the 1992 Helsinki Convention on the Protection and Use of Transboundary Watercourses and International Lakes Water Body-Specific Agreements. Baltic Sea, Black Sea, Caspian Sea, Lake Tanganyika. International Waters Institutions. Freshwater institutions. The UNESCO International Hydrological Program, the International Joint Commission between Canada and United States, the International Network of Basin Organizations, the International Shared Aquifer Resource Management Project, the International Water Boundary Commission between Mexico and United States, the International Water Management Institute, the IUCN Water and Nature Initiative. Marine institutions. The International Maritime Organization, the International Seabed Authority, the International Whaling Commission, the UNEP Regional Seas Program, the UNESCO Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission, the International Ocean Institute, the IUCN Global Marine and Polar Program,